Now, first up, Chief Executive of MTN Ghana, Stephen Blewett, has urged African countries to prioritize the development of payment platforms to facilitate intra-Africa trade. Speaking to Joy Business, Blewett said making digital literacy accessible will increase financial inclusion. He spoke at the just-ended 3i Africa Summit in Accra.
The interesting thing about when you look at fintech as a growth mechanism, think about where we started. It was only peer-to-peer, and then people would transfer money between themselves, and then it moved from that, and we got savings, and then lending, and then insurance. So that it develops in payments. So I think the next big growth area is payments is in its infancy. I think there's so many opportunities to allow small businesses to compete with large established retail organizations by getting into that part. And I believe as Africans, we need to lead that way more than other parts of the world, because we have that entrepreneurial mindset, we have the tools. So I think that payments is the next big wave for us. And then beyond that, there will be new technologies, new ideas that will be developed by us in Africa. And those are the ones as a company we need to be scanning and saying, that's something we want to develop. And as an African-based company and born in Africa, that's key to our future as MTN. So the first thing is you need to have people have availability to smart devices. So we're trying to make it more accessible through partners and access to financing to get smart devices. Why are smart devices important? Because digital literacy, in some cases literacy, normal literacy, is a problem. But once you've got a smart device, by using QR codes and things like that, anyone can have a business where someone can transact with. And it's those kinds of easier solutions that will help it to grow. And that's our focus. And obviously, that requires good data networks and expanding the data network, making sure the capacity of the network grows. So we're investing in those parts of the network in 2024.
All right, you're watching The Marketplace. Now, let's turn to our top story this afternoon. The cedi has struggled this year against major trading currencies like the dollar, depreciating by some 20% since the beginning of the year. And issues surrounding its performance have been heightened this week. And this afternoon, we explore why the depreciation is still persistent even after some forex injections from the IMF and the World Bank, and the ultimate effect on the decision of voters come December 7. Joining me in studio is Isaac Ofeje, who is lead data and research analyst here at Joy News. Thank you for coming in studio to talk about this. It's been a big story the whole of this week. Tell us how the cedi has performed since the year began.
Well, so if you go on my journal right now, you see depreciating cedi, how it actually fell. There's some sort of visualization there for you to see. But on the screen, it will be telling you how the cedi moved from 11 cedis, 59 pesos, a little about 12 cedis, 10 pesos at the beginning of the year, to now somewhere 15 cedis. It's been in between 14 cedis, 50 pesos and 15 cedis at the retail level. Now, if you look at the depreciation since the beginning of the year, we can calculate close to 20% depreciation rate at the beginning of the year, and that has not been good for businesses. If you look at the rate of this, depreciation at the beginning of the year, it was a bit stable, but in the last 40 days, the cedi has not really performed well against major trading currencies, and the dollar is really giving it a whip.
Well, very soon we'll be looking at the trends. Hopefully it will be shown on our screen. So, like you point out, the cedi has depreciated by more than 19% against the US dollar since January. Take it away.
And it's one of the worst performing currencies across Africa. It's also one of the fastest depreciation currencies in sub-Saharan Africa currently. And it's all because of what is going on globally. And this is what we were talking about, the picture. If you compare the same period last year to what we have this year. Last year, the cedi moved from 9 cedis, 80 pesos from the beginning of the year to 12 cedis, 2 pesos. By 16th May, adding about 1 cedi, 78 pesos to the dollar rates. And now we are looking at 11 cedis, 98 pesos to 15 cedis, almost 3 cedis addition there. And that tells you that the rate of depreciation, if you compare this year to last year, has been stratospheric. I mean, the rate of depreciation is obviously different from what we experienced last year, and traders are not really happy about the 14 cedis, 75 pesos to 15 cedis that the dollar is actually trading at the moment.
And over the years, I mean, we are told what we are seeing right now is because companies are repatriating dollars out of the country. their earnings from the work they do here in the country. Over the years, we've seen that the Bank of Ghana has injected dollars, dollars into the system to sort of stem or sort of control the level of depreciation that we have seen over time. Of course, there are issues to do with fiscal policies as well, because we import mainly. But right now, there appears to be something that limits the Bank of Ghana, the central bank, from intervening this time around. What's that?
Well, obviously, the cedi depreciation doesn't come from one source. But this year, one of the sources that we could use to stabilize the falling cedi, which is the intervention by the Bank of Ghana, is not really there like it used to a year ago or 2 years ago.
Why is that?
And this is simply because of the agreement or the arrangement we have with the IMF. So if you go to page 65 of the IMF program, you find this written there, black and white. And it's about the limitation or the gradual limitation of forex interventions to achieve reserve targets. So at the moment, what Bank of Ghana is focusing on is building its reserves to a certain amount of imports. Now, if Bank of Ghana keeps coming into the market to do overloaded forex auctioning, that it simply tells you that they are not going to achieve the target they've set for themselves under the IMF program. So what would they do? They have to lay back a bit in terms of the forex injections. Now, they say that, quote, we are firmly committed to, limit monthly gross forex sales to a ceiling. So it simply tells you that currently or now there's a ceiling. Previously, there was no ceiling. Whenever the cedi depreciates, Bank of Ghana can come in to intervene depending on their dollar capability. But right now, no matter what you have, no matter the reserve you have, there is actually some sort of ceiling to the intervention you can introduce into the market. And they say if they need any form of emergency intervention, they would have to consult the IMF staff on what to do. So that's the restriction at the moment.
So what's the implication of this, really?
So this simply means that, last year, if we could really even show the visualization that I was talking about, you see how the intervention of the Bank of Ghana helped the cedi to stabilize. It means that without Bank of Ghana's active participation in the forex market, the cedi may possibly be allowed to depreciate to a certain natural level. And that natural level, many say, is about 20 cedis to the dollar or 19 cedis to the dollar. But when Bank of Ghana steps in to intervene, we will see that the depreciation will reduce. Right now, we are only hoping and praying that the forex injection that we are expecting from the World Bank and the IMF will all come in time. But the implication is that if you're a business and you are looking at the cedi depreciation slowing down anytime soon, I'm not projecting that it's really going to hit bad, but I'm just saying that Bank of Ghana will be doing forex auctioning, but it will not be the same like they did last year.
And we know that when the cedi depreciates, it has an impact on inflation. The price of things shoot up, and political parties are having a bite at this. I just wanted to take a listen to the minority leader, Kassim Atuforsen. He spoke at a press conference recently about the current depreciation we're seeing, essentially blaming the government for the decline.
We want to use this opportunity to urge the Vice President to quit his offbeat dancing on the campaign trail and focus on the dancing cedi. There's a lot awaiting our country as a result of reckless mismanagement by Alhaji Bawumia's government. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, you recall that when the NDC government was exiting power in December 2016, under the leadership of then President John Mahama, the cedi was trading at 3 cedis 80 pesos to $1 compared to the current 14 cedi 95 pesos as at to the US dollars as at yesterday. And I'm hearing that today the cedi is trading at $1 is trading at 15.05 as at today. Shockingly, but not surprisingly, the Vice President, who doubles as the chair of the government economic management team, Alhaji Bawumia, has told Africa Watch that the cedi has performed better under his supervision. This is a palpable lie, of course. Statements such as this from Alhaji Bawumia have significantly damaged his reputation, as many people treat them with contempt it deserves, or at best, comic relief. Many businesses and households have questioned the voodoo conclusions of Alhaji Bawumia on the fall of the Ghana cedi on his watch. How is Alhaji Bawumia able to look Ghanaians in the face and claim that the exchange rate of 14 cedis 95 pesos to $1 in 2024 is better than the 2016 year-end 3 cedi 80 pesos to $1?
All right, and it's an election year, and you understand why, Isaac, the minority will bring it up. So how is this going to play out in the political circles? I mean, right now we've seen that the minority is latching on this and trying to make a case out of it, blaming the present government for the decline that we are seeing. Mind you, Bawumia, in the past has said stuff like, if the fundamentals are not right,
your exchange rate will expose you.
The exchange rate will expose you. And so how is this going to play out in the political circle?
Look, exchange rate is a big capital in the political space. That is why the minority are adding their voice to this issue, because they know how the political capital they can get from this. And that tells you that come 7 December 2024, this is going to be a big issue. The reason why the cedi will be a big issue is that when the exchange rate is under threat, it affects almost everything. Fuel prices go up, transport fares will go up, goods and services will go up. That will translate into inflation. If inflation is up, monetary policy will be up. Monetary policy up, it means that the cost of borrowing will also actually go up. We'll be showing you how the cedi has been performing the visualization, and that will tell you why Ghanaians will be looking at this come 7 December, because just look at how the cedi has been moving.
Wow.
We've been tracking this from January 2022 and see how the cedi hit 15 cedis. Just look at it. So these were some of the fluctuations.
That was quite a jump.
Absolutely. And these were the times where the cedi almost reached 15 cedis 2 years ago, and we saw that artificial drop and it returned to its level. Now we are seeing that sort of depreciation again. So now we are looking at an exchange rate of 14. I'm sure you are surprised. 14 cedis, 70 pesos to 15 cedis. That should tell you that businesses, ordinary Ghanaians, consumers will really, really be looking at this and be looking at how the government will turn this around. Because if they're able to turn it around, that will also be a big capital. I mean, just imagine before the election and we are having $1 to 7 cedis or 6 cedis. That will be a big political capital for the NPP. And if it continues to remain around 15 cedis, 14 or 16 cedis, or even 19 cedis, then that means that the NDC will really go hard on this against the NPP.
Wow, and so you can understand why this is a big deal. But aside from the monetary measures, we are looking out for fiscal measures.
Yeah.
So what ideas are the political parties putting out there?
I mean, for NDC, for instance, they are saying that when they come, they'll look into some of the policies that they say the gold for oil deal. They believe that it's not really, really helping the cedi. So they will be looking at this. And we've seen that, former President Mahama has promised he's going to cut down on expenditure, especially reducing his ministers from the current numbers to about 65. I mean, all of these things tells you that going in for into 2024 election, fiscal policy will also be important. Who is going to cut the budget to the level that Ghanaians want? Who is going to do that maximum savings that we are all looking out for to reduce the deficit we are currently facing, which will in turn help the cedi to be stabilized? I mean, we know the government's activities in the treasury bill markets right now, and the minority are saying that it is the reason why you see inflation still around 25%.
All right, so you can check it out, myjoyonline.com. The article they put together by Isaac Ofieje. Cedi depreciation, how we reach 15 cedis?
Yeah, $1 reach.
myjoyonline.com.
Yeah.
Interesting
See
stuff.
the animation there.
All right. You're watching The Marketplace. Let's turn to other stories. The Regional Director for Enterprise Singapore, Enterprise SG West Africa, Jineng, says Singapore is collaborating with other Ghanaian financial institutions such as the Development Bank Ghana to provide fintech solutions for local SMEs. Here's her conversation with my colleague Winston Taki at the just ended 3i Africa Summit.
It's very encouraging to see that our Monetary Authority of Singapore is working very closely with the Bank of Ghana in terms of what DBG is doing in the Ghana integrated financial ecosystem. So we are supporting in terms of the platform, in terms of piecing together the puzzle to ensure that financing for SMEs can actually grow and develop. It's an integral piece to unlock when we look at financing in Africa.
Many have questioned about how they can bring the SME into the basket, especially financial inclusivity. How has that been? Has that been challenging for you?
It has. I mean, to be honest, it's looking at the right opportunities to connect both sides of the private sector, even in other industry areas that are critical to Ghana's growth. For example, in agriculture. However, we are encouraged because working with DBG, we see that there is potential. As a starting step, a lot of the local Ghanaian SMEs in this particular program that DBG is doing is going through the SME financial education pillar. So that gives them an opportunity to then be qualified at the end of the day to access loans from your local banks, which can then mean that they can do a lot more business in Singapore.
One of the key conversations made by the president during his speech is financing these digital technologies. In terms of what you are doing in Singapore and some of them being inculcated in Africa, would you recommend certain strategies which you believe can help us?
Oh, indeed. I mean, it's looking at how both sides can actually leverage off each other's experience. There are Singapore fintech solutions that have entered into emerging Southeast Asian markets. And I think some of these solutions can be quickly adapted into the Africa continent to address some of the challenges that you see on the ground and ready to kind of forge the collaboration that both sides are looking for.
What is your assessment of the fintech space in Ghana, basically?
It's encouraging. I mean, it's a close competition with your neighbors like Nigeria. However, I think there's a lot of bright technologies locally. For example, your ZPay guys, there are other fintech local entrepreneurs that are looking to basically solve the real problems on the ground for access to key industries like agriculture, manufacturing. So it's the right time to come into the continent, really.
All right, let's do some other stories for you on the marketplace. The Association of Ghana Industries is calling for a relook at the second-hand clothing market. The association says there are some advantages that comes with the market, hence the need for further engagement on the activities of players within the sector to benefit the country. President of the association, Humphrey Imdake, stressed the need for a balance between the textile industry and the second-hand clothing market. He was speaking at the launch of an evaluation document on the socio-economic impact of second-hand clothes trade in Ghana.
The used clothes, according to some experts, coming from richer countries is contributing to pollution in Ghana and causing falling price for the Ghanaian traders as the quality drops. Meanwhile, some sector players disagree. At the launch of an evaluation document on the socio-economic impact of second-hand clothes trading in Ghana, the Association of Ghana Industries said there is a need for further consultation.
So there are benefits and there are disadvantages. So we are not here today, or I'm not here today to profess a solution. We are exposing and we are exploring. So there are plus and minuses. So I've demonstrated to you government makes taxes. And it's the same government that is complaining that your excess import is also creating problems for my forex. Then you proceed to look at the socio-economic dynamics, the cultural influences of second-hand clothing. What has it been today? The availability of Western-style clothing influences local fashion, trends, and social norms, sometimes at the expense of traditional Ghanaian clothing. Until we had the Friday wear, I'm told I got 2 minutes. Noted. And to have a Friday wear, we all kept saying that we stopped using made in Ghana clothing because we were being fed by a lot of second-hand clothing, which are affordable, which is good though, because our economic structure has deteriorated. But as that goes on, how has it been the impact on our culture? So there's an element of discussion that you can explore in there. And you could go on.
Chairman for the Ghana Used Clothing Association, Jeffrey Abrokwa, said the sector is creating more jobs for Ghanaians.
So these people, they want to destroy our business. So they go far and said, used clothing coming to Ghana, about 45 to about 50% are trash. So we have put used clothing into Odo River, which is never true, because all what we have taken our money, our hard money, to Europe and buy the clothing to Ghana to come and say to make money for ourselves. They say it's a trash, which is not true. So we are pleading to the government that we are not here maybe to sell used clothing and throw them away. It's never true. Some people, they have gone to collect money to destroy our business.
Well, next on the marketplace, the Achieving Woman Consult, in collaboration with the School of Physical and Mathematical Sciences of the University of Ghana, is set to hold the Achieving Show, dubbed Empowering the Next Generation of Entrepreneurs. Joining me on Zoom to talk about this is Millicent Adoboy, who is Deputy CEO, Achiever Foods Limited, also founder and president of the Achieving Woman Consult. I'm also joined by Professor Sando Makidana, who is Dean, School of Physical and Mathematical Sciences, University of Ghana. Thank you both for joining us here on the marketplace. I'll start with you, Millicent. What's the idea behind the Achieving Show?
Thank you, and good day to our lovely viewers. So some years ago, after my university education as a food scientist, I struggled to get a job. I had to sell by the streets, by the gutters in Medina to make a living. Along the line, I took ill and almost died due to iron deficiency anemia. And after I recovered, I was challenged to see what I could do with the ideas that I have. I told myself, if I'm not finding a job, that I need to create one. And so my husband and I, Bright Adoboy, came together, and then we started our agribusiness, Achiever Foods Limited. And then we have been able to create jobs for the youth through our agribusiness. So we thought to ourselves, if we have been able to achieve this as youth, then we can empower other youth to be able to create jobs and reduce the unemployment rate in Africa and in our dear nation, Ghana.
All right.
So that's how we started this whole movement.
So, Prof. Idana, someone may be wondering how the School of Physical and Mathematical Sciences, what has this got to do with you, really?
Yes, thank you very much. And I join my colleague to thank you for this opportunity to educate the public on what we are doing. The School of Physical and Mathematical Sciences is one of the schools under the College of Basic and Applied Sciences. Our school happens to be the largest in terms of student numbers. And we know in the news that we have a huge issue with regards to graduate unemployment. Our students usually traditionally find themselves in the mining sector, also with the telcos, and also with the IT sector. But of late, we see that a number of them are without jobs. So over the years, we have been looking at opportunities by which we could build the entrepreneurial skills of our students, so that when they complete, instead of looking for jobs, they will be able to set up enterprises by themselves. Because we believe that we have given them enough content knowledge for them to be able to apply to set up. So we have been working with industry players, and we started with a career fair that brought in about 20 companies and enterprises to interact with our students. And the next set of activities that we have started to embark upon involve empowering them so that they will be able to set up when they finish. And that's how we came about to team up with our colleagues to set up this program on Saturday.
All right, and so Millicent, what issue?
And I think the ambition is to ensure that at the end of the day, it evolves into an innovation hub. So through this hub, we'll be able to get them trained. A lot of our students coming out of school will be able to set up enterprises by themselves.
All right, Millicent, so if you could also share with us, I mean, what are some of the issues you're hoping to tackle during that discussion?
Yes, so we are going to be sharing how to start a business, how to attract funding and investment for your business, how to grow your business with the right skill set, and how to have career success. Yeah.
Okay, and what are the other highlights we should be looking out for?
Yes, so we have very seasoned speakers who are going to be touching on all these subjects. We have Dr. Bernard Aye, we have Nanesi Edin Akhas, we have Eko Mensah, we have Reverend Dr. Bridget Benaima, and Professor Yidana, who is on the call, will also be, delivering an amazing speech. This year, we are going to be having a fireside chat segment where we get to have successful entrepreneurs who have really been able to thrive and grow their businesses, to share with the participant how they made it and how they can also, grow their businesses.
All right.
There will be mentoring opportunities and internship programs that will be running even after the program. Yeah.
Pavidana, I'm going to give you 20 seconds to tell us what do you hope how you hope this program would impact students or whoever attends.
Thank you very much. So we believe that at the end of the day, students should have acquired the necessary skills to be able to tune their mindset to entrepreneurial mindset, so that they will be able to set up enterprises by themselves.
All right.
Given the knowledge, the vast knowledge that they have acquired in the classroom, they will be able to set up by themselves and be employers of labor instead of seeking jobs.
Thank you so much. We will be looking forward to that event set to take place on Saturday, 9:30 on the University of Ghana campus, the WAC-BIP conference room. And that's it for the Marketplace. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back same time tomorrow.